The next thing we're going to see is a really old example of traditional Toulouse brickwork, and it's in the hotel dining room, and it's next day and it's our last day. We've got until mid-afternoon before we need to catch the bus to the airport. We need to see more of Toulouse, and we're setting off again from the hotel, going by a different route, wandering through slightly different streets, but possibly ending up initially at the same place we started at on the first day, i.e. Place Wilson. Now this chap here is a French poet, and we are in Place Wilson, and it is raining. Yeah, Jules. Anyway, it seems to have a friend, and our friend over here is getting ready for business. We saw the name Vidal when we were further south around Perpignan, and we see it here again today. But we're now making our way past these buildings, which are largely built of Toulouse brick, towards the cathedral. And here is the cathedral. It's been described as lopsided. The nave was begun in the 11th century. It was altered in 1211. In 1272, a later bishop decided on a new plan on a different axis. This later construction was also not finished. Then an oblong tower was added. Eventually, all the separate bits were sort of joined together, hence the lopsided cathedral. This is looking back into what I presume is the older part. Again, some tapestries hung up here. Some of them dating from the 16th century. We'll have a look at that altar down there very shortly. Nice bit of painted wall in this chapel. The organ case dates from 1614. This glasswork is by Jean and Arnaud de Meul in 1612, possibly the family of the glass painters of Auch, which we saw earlier. Now on this altar there's a light shining through a hole onto those figures there, which is presumably like a light from heaven. Now, I wish I could remember what this is, but my research team, ex-research team, haven't come up with anything either. Anyway, we're working our way across town to the other big church, the Basilica of San Sernia. Now on the way I stopped for a coffee and got talking to this chap who was telling me how he was in the Foreign Legion. I think he's retired now. So we continue our journey through this different part of Toulouse, and eventually we'll cross somewhere that we've seen before. Perhaps you'll recognise it. Coming into view now. An awful lot of restoration and renovation going on in this area. We've come inside a little courtyard here to see that block amongst others. Obviously a very old block, but very recently restored, and they're still working on it inside. Here's another restored block which I think used to be student accommodation, and it's now a museum.